There was a moment here in Australia, when the wind seemed to whisper more than simply breeze. It whispered through towns that have done the calculation. Towns that have looked at their shrinking populations, empty shop fronts, and aging demographics and decided that the cost of offering cash, land, or incentives to people willing to relocate is lower than the cost of continuing to decline. The deals are real. Some are government programs. Some are council initiatives. Some are backed by regional development funding. None of them are well known. All of them are available to people who know where to look and are willing to consider a version of Australia that is not Sydney or Melbourne or the coast everyone already knows. We are counting down 8 Australian towns offering you money to move there. Some offer cash directly. Some offer free land. Some offer relocation packages that represent tens of thousands of dollars in real value. And yes, one program has put together an incentive stack that approaches the kinds of numbers that make you stop and actually read the fine print. Like this video if you have ever wondered whether the life you want might cost less somewhere you have not considered. Subscribe because one day you will want to know which towns are paying people to show up. Let's break it down. Number 8. Queenstown, Tasmania. Queenstown sits in the gorge country of Tasmania's west coast, surrounded by mountains stripped of vegetation by a century of copper smelting that now glow in colors, pink, orange, purple, rust, with no equivalent anywhere else in Australia. The West Coast Council has been running programs to attract new residents for years because the population built around mining has been declining since the mines contracted. The West Coast Welcome Program has offered relocation assistance to people willing to commit to the region, direct financial support for moving costs, community integration programs, and in some iterations, support for new businesses the region needs. The median house price in Queenstown sits below $100,000. The cost of living is significantly below the national average. The landscape is one of the most distinctive in Australia. One person who relocated wrote, "I moved expecting to survive it for a year. I am in my 4th year. The colored mountains are not a tourist attraction. They are what you look at from your kitchen window while making coffee in a house that cost less than most people pay for rent in a year. The trade-off is genuine remoteness. Medical services are limited. Hobart is several hours away. Winter is cold and long. Picture this. It is a morning in Queenstown. The mountains above are the colors of a place that has been through something. The house you own cost less than most people's annual rent in Sydney. You are here because a council decided your presence was worth paying for. They were not wrong. Number 7. Jericho, Queensland. Jericho is a small town in central Queensland with a population of around 200 people. The Central Highlands Regional Council has run initiatives to attract new residents, and Jericho has offered free land to people willing to build and stay. Free land in regional Queensland sounds like the setup to a joke until you look at what it actually means. A residential block with utilities connected has real value. Combined with dramatically lower construction costs and a cost of living that makes a modest income feel substantial, the free land offer is a genuine financial advantage to people with the flexibility to use it. The catch is remoteness. The nearest significant town is Longreach. Services are those of a 200-person community. Specialist medical care means driving. One family who took up a regional land offer wrote, "We came for the land and stayed because the quiet was something we had not understood we needed. Our expenses are a fraction of what they were. The trade is real, you give up access and receive time and space. We did not understand how good that trade was until we had made it." Picture this. It is an afternoon in Jericho. The light comes across the Mitchell grass plains without interruption. Your land is yours. Your house is being built. The cost of your life here is a number that would have seemed impossible in Brisbane. Number 6. Kingaroy, Queensland. Kingaroy is the peanut capital of Australia, charming or unremarkable depending on your relationship with legumes, and the South Burnett Regional Council has run business attraction and residential incentive programs for a region sitting 2 hours northwest of Brisbane at a price point the southeast corner of Queensland abandoned years ago. Incentives have included direct grants for relocating businesses, support packages for families from metropolitan areas, and housing establishment assistance. The median house price in Kingaroy is around $200,000. The town has a hospital, schools, supermarkets, and the full infrastructure of a functioning regional center. What Kingaroy offers that most towns on this list do not is accessibility. 2 hours from Brisbane is not remote. You are within reach of the city when you need it and living at a cost it does not offer when you do not. One remote worker wrote, "I kept my Brisbane salary and moved to Kingaroy. My mortgage is smaller than my old rent. I drive to Brisbane once a month. The incentive program covered my moving costs. The cost of living covers everything else I used to worry about." Picture this. It is a morning in Kingaroy. The South Burnett Ranges are visible from the main street. 2 hours south is Brisbane. Here, your money works differently. The council decided that demonstrating that difference was worth paying for. Number 5. Nhill, Victoria. Nhill is a small Wimmera town that has done something unusual in the story of Australian regional decline. It has grown. The Hindmarsh Shire has backed programs to attract residents, both through humanitarian settlement pathways and incentives for people seeking affordable regional living. Housing in Nhill is among the most affordable in Victoria. What Nhill offers beyond the price is a community that has demonstrated, practically, what it looks like when new arrivals are genuinely welcomed. The Karen community from Myanmar, who began arriving from 2010, stabilized the town's population. The businesses are open. The school has students. The town that was declining is not declining. One long-term resident said, "Nhill changed when the Karen families came. The town had been quieter than it should have been. Then it had people and noise and children. The incentives to move here are financial. The reason to stay is something else." Picture this. It is a morning in Nhill. The Wimmera Plain extends in every direction. The main street has life in it. The house prices are what Melbourne prices used to be when Melbourne was still affordable. You are here because the numbers worked. You stay because the town does. Number 4. Cobar, New South Wales. Cobar sits in far western New South Wales, a copper and gold mining town of around 5,000 people with mines that provide employment at wages competitive with the cities, and a cost of living that makes those wages feel substantially more. The NSW government's regional relocation incentives have applied to Cobar, with direct payments to people moving from metropolitan areas to designated regional centers. The combination of these programs with mining employment and the cost differential makes Cobar one of the more financially compelling regional options in the state. Housing costs a fraction of Sydney prices. The wages do not. One mining engineer who relocated wrote, "I moved to Cobar for a 2-year contract and bought a house in the first year because the numbers were so obviously correct. The house cost less than the deposit I had been saving in Sydney. The salary is the same. I am not leaving." Picture this. It is a morning in Cobar. The red dirt of far western New South Wales extends beyond the edge of town. The mine is operating. Your salary has not changed. The cost of the life you are living with it has. Number 3. Mount Gambier, South Australia. Mount Gambier is the second largest city in South Australia. Around 30,000 people, a blue volcanic lake at the center, a timber industry, and a cost of living that makes it one of the most financially compelling regional cities in the country. The South Australian government has run programs targeting skilled and remote workers willing to relocate, with packages including direct payments, housing grants, and business support. Mount Gambier has the infrastructure of a genuine city. Hospital, university campus, airport, diverse retail and hospitality. The blue lake turns brilliant blue in November and holds that color until March. The median house price is well below Adelaide and a fraction of Melbourne or Sydney. One healthcare worker who relocated wrote, "I took the grant, moved to Mount Gambier, and within a year had bought a house and stopped thinking about money the way I had in Adelaide. The blue lake is outside my window in summer and it is exactly as blue as the photographs suggest. Picture this. It is a November morning in Mount Gambier. The lake has turned. The blue is the specific impossible blue of a volcanic lake in summer, and it is in the middle of a city where you own a house. The grant that brought you here has been absorbed into the fact of being here. The lake does not care what brought you." Number 2. Marble Bar, Western Australia. Marble Bar is the hottest town in Australia, a fact on the welcome sign, delivered with the pride of a place that has made peace with its defining characteristic. Average summer temperatures exceed 40 degrees routinely. The record is 50.5. The population is around 200. The Pilbara Development Commission has backed programs to attract people willing to contribute to remote Western Australian communities, and the combination of these programs with mining wages available in the broader region makes Marble Bar financially significant. Housing is among the cheapest in Australia for a town with functioning infrastructure. The Pilbara Regional Council has offered incentive packages to attract service workers, healthcare workers, and small business operators. Mining wages in the region are among the highest in Australia. The trade-off is the heat. This is not metaphor. The heat of the Marble Bar summer is a physical reality requiring specific preparation. People who have lived through it and chosen to remain describe it as an experience that either breaks you or becomes simply the context of your life. One resident wrote, "The heat is real. I will not pretend otherwise." But the Pilbara in the evening, when the temperature drops to something livable, is one of the most beautiful places I have experienced. The stars. The silence. The light at the end of a very hot day. You earn it. Picture this. It is a morning in Marble Bar. The temperature is already climbing. Your house cost almost nothing. Your bank account reflects Pilbara wages. The evening will be extraordinary. You have made the trade this town requires. Most people cannot. You are not most people. Number 1. Regional Australia broadly, the federal programs. The Australian government's regional incentive programs have, at various points, offered direct payments, visa concessions, and relocation grants to people willing to move to designated regional areas. The regional stream of the Skilled Migration Program, state-sponsored regional visa pathways, and direct relocation grants through programs like the Building Better Regions Fund represent the largest coordinated financial incentive for regional relocation in Australian history. Current federal incentives include support for skilled workers moving to regional areas, grants for small businesses establishing in regional centers, and state programs that amplify the federal base with additional local incentives. People who have navigated the full stack of available programs, federal, state, and local, have accessed packages worth between $15,000 and $50,000 in direct value. One family who navigated the full incentive stack wrote, "We did the accounting properly. Federal relocation grant, state regional incentive, local council land offer. The total was $43,000 in direct value, not including the house price differential from Melbourne. We are not going back." And in that quiet hush, beneath the whispering gums, in the towns that have decided your presence is worth paying for, I realized not all shadows hide. Some simply invite us to see. We just counted down 8 Australian towns offering you money to move there. The programs are real, the money is real, and the towns are real. What they are offering is not charity. It is a calculation, that the cost of incentivizing your arrival is lower than the cost of continuing without you. Which of these towns would you actually consider? Leave it below. If this video showed you something worth seeing, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a different kind of map. We will see you in the next one. This video expresses poetic and reflective storytelling. Program details change, Always verify current incentive availability directly with the relevant council or government agency before making relocation decisions. This video does not offer financial or relocation advice.